Good evening, guys. We're here with Scotland's head coach, Joe Coulter, and the captain of the Scotland under-19s, Gary Kelly. So, welcome.
Thank you, sis. Thank you.
Yes, having us.
So, under-19s of a series of 4 against England. You were down this weekend at the Sheffield showcase, the draft showcase. A bit of a roller coaster of a weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. We've been at our lowest and we've been at our highest. So, yeah. Perfectly.
So, Friday night kicked off, first game against England. So, what score didn't really go the way that you maybe hoped. It was a 5-1 for England that game. So, maybe start off with you, Joe. How did you feel the game went?
You know what? I would love to have seen us play a lot more 5-on-5 hockey. We reviewed the game afterwards, and discipline let us down massively. And you know what? It's tough because you've got that jersey on, you've got that badge on the front, you're playing for your country, the emotions are high. And, us as coaches maybe should have done a better job of bringing that kind of intensity down a little bit and playing a little bit more hockey, because you'd see that we had so much energy, we just used it in the wrong areas. And then obviously a bit of discipline. I mean, I can't even remember how many penalties there was off the top of my head, but I mean, I'd say at least 60-70% of the game we were killing penalties. So, I mean, the positives that we took away from that was that, one, our goaltending was fantastic. Young Harry Campbell was amazing. The penalty kill was very good. But you can't win a game with 4 guys on the ice. It's as simple as that. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of individual errors, there wasn't so much that. It was just we lacked any cohesion. Even when we were playing 5-on-5, we could see that in the lineups that, maybe we were struggling and we needed to get going, and boys thought, right, you know what, I'm going to be the hero, I'm going to grab the game, and it doesn't work. If you want to win, you need to have 5 guys on the ice to start with, but you need 5 guys playing together. So that was tough, and we reviewed that afterwards, and then one of the changes we made overnight, it was quite transparent, was that we changed the lineup. We'd mixed the guys up, and we looked more at putting different role players in to suit the kind of calibre that we had in certain lines, and that was massive. You could see that straight away, and Gary will be able to back us up on this. We had one-to-one meetings. We had meetings with the individual lines, the forward lines, the D lines, and everybody had a bit more instruction, being like, look, you've seen what England have, you've seen what they're going to bring. We've seen them at their best the night before. Like, this is how we can break them down. This is how we can beat them. And, we can only give so much instruction. It's up to you guys when you get out there to do what we've asked. And 60 minutes we executed the night after on that Saturday. I mean, we were pretty close to perfection. A couple, maybe 2 or 3 shifts we got away from it, but overall we did exactly what we were asked of, and it was like I say, it was very close to perfection. I don't think any Scotland teams ever shut out England, especially in England either. So that's massive, and that gives us so much confidence going into this next weekend.
So Gary,
I agree.
Congratulations on being selected for as captain for Scotland. But how was it that tough game on Friday night on the ice with the boys? Frustrations maybe getting a bit high. How was it? What was your input in the game for captain?
It was a challenging task. To be selected as captain and then go straight into playing your oldest enemies in England. I mean, the first few minutes were the kind of hemmed us in our own zone. And we had sparks where we seemed we could create offense, but penalties kind of killed us. As Joey said, our discipline, it killed us. But the guys looking up to me in the team, I just try to keep my head as level-headed as possible, keep all the guys in check. I think we did a lot better job on Saturday than we did Friday doing that anyway. So, it's a massive honour to be the captain, and can't thank my teammates enough. But we got the young guys stepping up like Joe Somerville, Jaden Baxter, like 15-year-old playing against National League, Div 1 competition on that PK unit. They were doing great. just kind of left Harry out to dry, hung up to dry a bit in the third. But we did a great job on the kill that game. I think we just, as Joey said, we all had one-to-one meetings, and we kind of just regrouped as a team. We all had a meeting between ourselves and stuff as well. Spoke about what we thought went right, what we thought went wrong, and Saturday showed that we took it and put it and channeled it the right way.
Absolutely. Harry did play a blinding game on Friday night. Bit of a problem with the nets there as well. I was watching.
Yeah.
And that must have been quite frustrating as well.
That's just because he was so busy, honestly. I think in that second period, you only need to resurface one end of the ice after that. It was tough going. But just on that way, obviously Gary being selected as captain, it's tough because we've got a group where we so much talent. I mean, you look at the lineup and you look at what these young guys are doing, and the SNL guys that are down in NIHL 1 playing as well. I mean, so there's a lot of calibre there. But I mean, the one thing that stood out for me with Gary, it wasn't so much on the ice; it was off the ice. Obviously, we had a short window of time to try and pick our leaders within the group, and I think we got it completely right. Obviously, yourself got Owen, Joe, and Josh as assistants as well. But one thing that stood out was how Gary interacted with the younger guys. Like you said there, we've got a lot of under-17s that are playing up into this squad that are fantastic little players, but it's tough. You're playing up an age group, and to have that confidence you have against your own kids, to then have it against the older guys, that kind of comes from your leadership group. And I could see you guys working with the younger guys, try to bring them up, telling them that they're here for a reason, and that was massive. So that was a huge key reason in selecting Gary as captain.
Great. So again, as you said, night and day, second game, shout out to England. So how did it feel like after the talk and then back onto the ice, putting everything in play? Did it just flow better, Gary, or what was your thoughts? What was the?
Yeah, I think the first game we were really tense. Boys just gripping their stick maybe a little too hard. But in that second game, I think we kind of seemed like we knew England gave us their best, and we hadn't even got out of first gear, in my opinion, yet. And I think everybody agreed on that as a team. So when it came to execute the game plan, obviously Joe took us 1-to-1s and breakouts, setting up in the zones and stuff. So we just implemented the stuff that the coaches told us to do. We tried to play our own game on Friday night, and obviously that went disastrous. So on Saturday we kind of all regrouped, went together again, and I think once we got the boys going and lineups changed, certain boys playing better with other boys. So I think that was a massive part in the result on Saturday. Yeah, and Daniel McGowan stood on his head. He had some. Wasn't as busy as Harry, but when we needed him to stand up big, he stood up big, and that was massive for the team as well.
Perfect. So, how is the feel of the draft showcase? Because this is the replacement for conference. Everybody goes on about how great conference was and all the stories around conference. So I know you guys, it's still going on. You didn't stay. It wasn't able there for the whole weekend. But how did it feel being there?
It was good. It's special. It's you look at the calibre of players that are on the ice. It's the best in the country. So even just the quality of hockey alone to watch is incredible. And then you look, you've got decent crowds there as well. It's pretty special to play in. I love the format. Obviously, when I played in every year previous to this, it's always just been a one-off game. I mean, so you imagine Friday was our only game. All right, we didn't see the best of our boys. It's a long summer, daunting nightmares about what could have been. And I feel like over the course of 4 games, you get to see the best of everybody. Just like when GB go away with these IIHF tournaments, maybe you have an off night, you get a chance to see who's got that bounce back ability, who can give themselves that redemption and show that they can play. So that's a test of character to do. Well, I'd say underperform on the Friday night. It quite easily could have been the same case on Saturday. But, I mean, every single guy stepped up. Me and our coaches are looking at each other at the end of 60 minutes on the second night, like, who do you give man of the match to? But when you've got that kind of performance, but literally pick a name out of the hat. It could be anybody. it was just incredible to watch a full team performance. There was no heroes, you know what I mean? We didn't have any kind of headline acts. It literally was just everybody chipped in. I mean, everybody took a bite of the pie, and yeah, we finished it off.
And then obviously in front of GB coaches as well, having the 2 games to be able to showcase what the guys can do on the ice and how they can come back from an off game as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, so myself and the other coaches, Rab and Ross, we met with the GB head coaches on Saturday morning. And so you had Sean Easton from the 18s, you had Martin Grubb from the 20s. And we got a bit of feedback just on what they'd seen on the Friday night. And I guess they weren't overly impressed based on our performance. And we pleaded the players' case, being like, this isn't our team. You know what I mean? We had an off night. Luckily, we've got 3 games to kind of rectify that. We thought maybe it was going to be, we got a little bit better on the Saturday and then had the whole week to regroup and build on that. But no, we've got that change overnight. And it's definitely good for the players to be able to show the GB coaches what we're capable of. You know, they're not just looking for the best players, they're looking for the right players. And that sounds a bit cliche and stuff, but when they go away to these tournaments, they need guys that can kill penalties. We've just showed them we've got 8 guys that are incredible at killing penalties. So, I mean, there's probably a few guys from the weekend that weren't even on the radar. And then they've maybe seen that performance on Friday, thought, I'm not sure about these guys. And then seen that on Saturday and be like, every one of them deserve a trial right now. You know, every one of them deserves a second look. And so, yeah, it's huge for the guys to be able to showcase that.
And Gary, extra pressure knowing that the GB coaches are in the crowd watching?
I mean, it just depends on your mindset. You know, every guy's different. For me, it's just, I wasn't really focused on anybody in the stands. It was more just, this is my group of boys. This is, we're representing the country and we're representing our clubs, and, you know, playing the arch enemy, England, you know, it wasn't really on my mind. But, you know, it's in the back of your mind, but, you know, it's not really front and centre. But, you know, there's guys in the team that are already at GB. I've never made the GB team before, so, you know, for me, it's a goal that, you know, I'd like to accomplish. You know, hopefully Saturday showcase that I'm a bit more capable than the Friday night. So, yeah, it's always nice to know them people are watching stuff. But, you know, for me and I think the majority of the guys, it was all about the team and, you know, playing for Scotland and beating England more than, you know, the GB side of it.
So, all to do again next weekend. England make their way up to Dumfries for we've got the Nationals at Dumfries Bowl on this weekend. So preparations, how's it all going? Getting the mindset right again for the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I've taken today just kind of recover, you know what I mean, from the lows and the highs, but we're back to work tomorrow night. We'll have the video back from that weekend. Like Gary, we do quite a bit of video. The camera never lies, you know, so that'll be good. Then we'll be able to kind of go through it a bit finer this time. I mean, the video we've used previously was off like a kind of SNL select team that we put together, and I mean, that maybe wasn't the best preparation because we had a very talented team to play against, but they're not coming down that intense on a Friday night, were they, Gary? It was relaxed, and some of them were like, oh wow, we're really good at ice hockey. You know, and then we went down there and it was a bit of shell shock right from the get-go. So now we know what to expect. We've got a video to try and really fine-tune the smaller details. And like I say, we were almost perfect on the Saturday. There's no reason why. We a couple of little adjustments and got an extra training session this week as well. And we can really strive for 60 minutes of dominance.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Playing in front of a Scotland crowd, how's that?
Suze, you know me with crowds, Suze. So
any crowd.
You know, I love playing in front of crowds. I love when it's big. You know, it's going to be packed. You know, and let's be honest, for us young guys, it doesn't get any bigger than this. You know, you can play in your National League, your SNL, your Div 1, but when it's Scotland v England and it's best on best, you know, there's no better feeling. So especially in front of home ice, you know, it's going to be some achievement of, if we go and beat England. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be good. We're going to have all the younger guys there looking up to you. These guys look up to us. They want to be filling our skates in a few years' time. So just going to do the best we can to beat these guys at the weekend and hopefully set up the next generation in the future to see what the standard is and what needs to be done in order to beat England.
So yeah, it's looking to be a good weekend. It was two good weekends, isn't it, coming up? You've got the older ones this weekend, and then the younger Scotland teams the following weekend at the Nationals. So it's great to see so many games for Scotland's playing as well, giving the kids much more competitive chances on the ice and on an international stage as well. So just really say thank you very much for your time, guys, and all the best for the weekend coming, and hopefully we'll have some more games like Saturday. Would be great.
Maybe
that's what we're aiming for.
We can do this again next week whilst Gary's got the trophy at his house.
Hopefully.
Is that where it's going? Is it back?
Goes with the captain first, yeah.
Okay. Oh well. Hopefully we'll have another one with a trophy in the background next weekend then, Gary.
Yeah. Right. Let's hope so.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
No worries, you're welcome.
Right.